way, poke me with your foot.
Welcome to our kindergarten first grade program. The class of 2003, think about that, parents, when your kids graduate high school. In 2003, they're going to be doing the three little pigs for us today. We have the wolves, and we have the pigs, and this is our sound effects department over here. You listen to the sound effects. Once, there were three little pigs. They went out into the great wide world to get along by themselves. The first little pig cheerfully told his parents goodbye and went skipping down the road singing. First little pig met the farmer who gave him a load of straw and skipping and hopping off down the road singing. Little pig met a woodsman who gave him some sticks to build a house, and the little pig did so. The third little pig cheerfully told his parents goodbye and marched off down the road. He sang. Third little pig met the farmer with straw, but he did not want a straw house. He met the woodsman with sticks, but he didn't want a stick house. He sang. Then, sure enough, he met a man who gave him some bricks to build a house. And he did so. Now, little pigs. So the old wolf went to the straw house and knocked softly on the door 3 times. And he puffed, and he blew the house in. But the little pig ran out the back door as fast as his little pig feet could carry him, and went to his brother's house. Then the old wolf went to the stick house. And he puffed, and he blew the house in. But the 2 little pigs ran as fast as their little pigs could carry them right out the door to their brother's house. Now the old wolf came to the brick house, and he pounded loudly on the door 3 times. Well, it was a quiet part. The first little pig played his piccolo, and the second little pig played his fiddle, and the wise third little pig played his big bass drum. Thank you. That helps develop being able to memorize various verses. The science lessons are their rendition of Peter and the Wolf. Prokofiev wrote a piece of music, and the story is told with the symphony orchestra. Each instrument showing a different character. Peter is played by the violin, and the cat is played by the clarinet, and the oboe is the duck. We listened to that and studied it in first grade, and then we decided that we were going to do our own instruments and make up our own themes to stand for the characters. The characters who are acting out the story all labels. It's real hard to hear. So let me just quiet for a second. Thank you. Each of the instruments stands for a character on the stage. This is trying to get the children, first of all, when they're playing, to follow a conductor, and also to get the idea of musical motives, music change. And open the garden gate. Good morning, Peter, trilled the bird. Good morning, Peter answered. I'm going out into the meadow. Won't you come? Soon a duck came waddling around to the gate. She was delighted when she found it open, because now she could go for morning swim on the pond in the meadow. When the little bird saw the duck paddling, he flew around and around, teasing her. You are not much of a bird, are you? Just look at you. You can't even fly. But the duck only laughed and said, I shouldn't talk if I were you. You call yourself a bird, but just look at you. You can't even swim. They quarreled and quarreled. But neither one would give in. Just then, Peter noticed something. It was a cat creeping ever so quietly through the grass. I'll catch that bird for my breakfast before he even knows that she was thinking. Look out, cried Peter. The bird flew to safety high in a tree. The duck quacked loudly. Peter's grandfather came out. He was very, very angry. How many times have I told you not to go into the meadow, he scolded. It is more dangerous than you can imagine. Tell me now, just what would you do if a wolf came out of the forest? Needless to say, Peter would not be afraid. He would not be afraid of a dozen wolves. But grandfather had his mind made up. He took Peter's hand and led him back inside the gate and locked it firmly after them. Just as soon, no matter how hard she tried, she could only waddle, and there was no way for her to escape the wolf. Closer he came, and closer, 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 snap! He caught her and gulped. In one bite, he swallowed her whole. So that was all for the duck, and as for the others, you can imagine just how things stood. The cat was standing upon a branch at one side of the tree, while the bird perched on a branch on the other side, as far away as possible from the cat. On the ground below, the wolf stalked around and around, staring hungrily up at them both. Meanwhile, Peter stood inside the gate, watching everything that was happening. Soon he ran into the house. When he came out again, he was carrying a strong rope. Then he climbed over the garden wall and swung himself into the tree. Fly down now and keep circling around the wolf's head just as fast as you can, Peter said to the bird. But be careful not to let him catch you. Snap, snap went the wolf. But the clever bird was too quick for him. Peter made a noose in the end of the rope. Carefully, quickly, he let it down, and with a jerk, caught the wolf by the tail. How that wolf was surprised. He jumped up and down and this way and that way, trying to free himself. But Peter had already tied the rope to the tree, and the harder the wolf jumped, the tighter the knot grew. At that moment, Peter heard the sound of shooting. Some hunters came out of the forest, hot on the wolf's trail. "Don't shoot," cried Peter. "Look, we have caught the wolf already, the bird and I. Now let us take him to the zoo." Then they all opened their eyes wide with surprise. From somewhere deep inside the wolf, they heard a steady quacking. It was the duck, for in his haste the wolf had gulped her down alive. And so the triumphant procession set off. Peter, of course, marched at the head. After him strode the hunters, leading the wolf. The little bird flew up near Peter, warbling cheerfully. "Just see what Peter and I have done," she sang. Last of all walked Grandpapa and the cat. "These things are all well and good," muttered Grandpapa, shaking his head grumpily. But what if Peter had not caught the wolf? What then? I don't know how well we've done this year, but
We're going to pick up.
you'll be able to judge in a minute. The song that we're going to do that helps to emphasize this is called Frogs. We stick the frog with a stick, and he makes all kinds of sounds when he gets stuck with his stick. So when we do this right, we should be able to hear the difference between those three voices.
Do your dirty work.
In order to avoid a mega traffic jam and lost children, we are going to dismiss the first graders and kindergartners to their rooms, and then you can find them there rather than everybody getting clogged up. First grade may go back to their classrooms, and the kindergartners will all meet in Mrs. Van Sleep's room. Please let them pass through the hallway. Thank you for coming.